All right, everyone, we'll go ahead and get started. All right, good afternoon. I'm Judge Mincy, and we're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. And this is a calendar for cases in which individuals have been recently arrested for certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused these cases of the offenses brought against them, and the case has been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we are able to address matters such as bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. I will be providing you with a SAP reset date.
It's going to be October the 3rd, Your Honor.
All right, October the 3rd is the SAP reset date. Everyone note that. I also want to remind everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube, so govern yourselves accordingly. I want to also remind the defendants on this calendar that you have certain constitutional rights, the first being that you have a right to representation, and you should know who your attorneys are by now. Also, you do have a right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, and the occurrences of your case can and will be held against you. The state is here, they're listening and taking notes. So please listen to your attorneys and follow their lead. All right, deputies, who do we have first?
Position number 9, Mr. Hicks.
9, okay.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Judge. Michael Murphy here for Mr. Hicks.
All right, thank you. Hold on a second.
Excuse me, Judge, there will be an add-on calendar coming out with a defendant that was on the calendar too, yesterday. And this attorney, Mrs. Tracy Dolfman is here for her. There was charges added to her previous booking screen with additional charges, so we can address that. The calendar's coming out shortly. So just want to let you know.
Okay.
What's the defendant's name?
I'll put it all in the chat.
Oh, I see it. All right, this is David Hicks.
Yes.
All right, 24 CR 006568Y. He is charged with 3 counts. 1 count of battery family violence, 2nd count of cruelty to children, 3rd degree. I'm sorry, 2 counts of battery family violence and 1 count of cruelty in the 2nd degree. Pre-trial.
First.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred September 17th, 2024 at 925 Drury Street Northeast. Officers arrived to the location and spoke with the defendant, who appeared to be intoxicated, and the defendant told him that he had gotten into a little fight. Officers then spoke with the defendant's daughter, a juvenile with the initials VH, who stated that her father had been drinking. The defendant's son, Logan Hicks, who is 16 years old and the victim in this case, stated that he came home and the defendant asked him to check the grill. Logan refused and asked the defendant to leave him alone. The defendant then pushed Logan into a glass door, breaking it and causing a cut to Logan, then punched Logan in the face several times, resulting in a bloody nose. All of these injuries were observed by the officers. As Logan is a minor, DFAX was called and the defendant was arrested. Our office has not had an opportunity to speak with Logan because he is currently in school, but we have had an opportunity to speak with his mother, Diana Hicks, who stated that this is the first time anything like this has happened. She stated that the kids are not afraid of the defendant. She confirmed the events in the warrant, but clarified that they do not have a glass door in their home, and she believes her son might have been pushed into a window pane of their staircase, which is how he got the cut. She further stated that she asked her daughter to call 911 when she realized that her husband and her son were not going to stand down. She has asked for no violent contact, and the state's recommendation is going to be a $5,000 signature bond through Services Level 2. Follow any and all DFAX recommendations. At this time, because we have not spoken to Logan himself and he is the victim, we are going to ask for no further contact. between the defendant and his son. We have spoken with Logan and can confirm that he himself is comfortable with no further violent contact, then that, of course, can be modified. We are also requesting that the defendant take a parenting class, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and also undergo an ADET. And that will be all.
All right, Mr. Murphy?
Morning or good afternoon, Judge. Yes,
Good
Mr. Hicks is 48 years old. He lives at the address that was previously listed by the state, which is the incident location 925 Drury Street. That's in Atlanta, Georgia. He and his family have lived there for 6 years. He's lived in the Atlanta and Georgia area for 15 years. He has a graduate degree and works full-time for Cox Enterprises. Currently at this home, he's living with his wife, Diana, who's actually on this Zoom hearing if the court would like to speak with her. Their son, Logan, who the state has just discussed, their daughter, Victoria. They have an older son, Elijah, who currently is studying. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I couldn't hear that last part here.
Yeah, they have a son, Elijah, who's a student at Virginia Tech. He's 21 years old. He has relatives that live in the area, so he has a lot of ties to community. As pretrial indicated, he has no prior criminal history. I think the events of this case, as we start to investigate, are going to show that this is a 16-year-old young man who was having a bad day, had gotten to a verbal argument with his father, and we believe the evidence is going to show he was the primary aggressor. This is not a situation where there's a big size disparity. Logan is 6'2". He's a big kid. So it's not as if Mr. Hicks is physically dominating this young man. I think this was a situation that got out of control. I've spoken to Diana, who's the mother in this situation, and she has indicated to me that she spoke to her son last night, and he indicated he had no problem being around his father. And I find it difficult to believe that a mother would ever say that if she felt like her son was in danger. So I say that to say we have no issue with the $5,000 signature bond. We are asking for no violent contact with Logan so that he can return home. We're fine with a parenting class. Some of the other conditions, Judge, I don't know, it's a little early to start diving into alcohol and drug evaluations. We do not believe that Mr. Hicks was intoxicated. I'm not sure if it's something that the court wants to impose, that's fine, but I don't know that at this juncture that's appropriate. We do represent him throughout the entirety of the case. So we look forward to working with the state and getting to a resolution so this family can move on. He will comply with anything DFACS asks him to do. I mean, I know that's by law. So other than that, Judge, we'd ask the court to set a bond and set it with no violent contact.
Okay, I normally obviously try to talk to the victim, and I know our victim is 16, and I know the wife is on the line. Briefly, Ms. Hicks, do you wish to address the court or would answer 2 questions for me?
And Diana, if you're there, if you could move your camera to on and video on. And Judge, we try to get Logan. He's in school right now, so we can't get in touch with him.
I understand. Ms. Hicks, raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right, thank you. Are your son Logan, and I'm going to allow you to speak for him because he is a minor, in fear of your husband, Mr. Hicks?
No, he's not.
Okay. Do you want to have further contact right now? And I say that because it's been less than, 24 hours since this event happened.
Yeah, we're okay with David coming home.
Okay. Do you think he has a drinking or alcohol problem?
I do not.
Was he drinking on this instance, do you believe?
I believe he was.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to give it a shot, and I hope that your family will begin to heal, get some counseling, and get through the situation, as Attorney Murphy has said. But we do have concerns. I normally don't like to send someone right back home immediately. But I'm going to trust that, he has a good job and he wants to, get back to work, I'm sure. So let's see what happens. But please try to get some counseling and some help to get through the situation, okay?
Yeah, we will.
Okay. All right, I'm going to order the $5,000 signature bond. I'm going to order it through pretrial, and I'll tell you why. And it'll be a level 1. And the reason I'm ordering it through pretrial is because of the anger awareness course. There's a 2-day one, and it's free through pretrial. I imagine Mr. Hicks could probably pay for his own. And counsel, I'll let you decide if he wants to take one somewhere on his own, or you want him to go through pretrial for that course.
We can do it through a private provider. I think that would be fine.
Okay. And so because of that, I don't know that I need him to report to pretrial. I'm assuming he's not going to abscond and leave the country.
No,
So let
Judge.
me, let me change that, Miss Bridgewater, and state, I'm gonna change it to SOB through the jail so he can sign himself out.
I think this might be a bail restricted offense, Your Honor.
Oh, is this, oh, that's right. This is battery. Thank you. I'm sorry, battery family violence. So it does have to go through pretrial with the new
Yeah.
laws of July 1. I'm sorry.
And
So
what's
let
the
me
full-
change that back.
I mean, we're fine with the straight bond too, Judge, if that's easier, whatever works for the court.
Yeah, I don't want him to have to go through with the surety. I know you could probably get it for him pretty quickly, but I'll do the signature bond through pretrial. I'm sorry. And he can take the course either through pretrial or privately, whichever he prefers. If he takes it privately, you're probably going to need to show that certificate or proof to the state that he took it. If he wants to do it privately. And like I say, level 1, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I'm not going to order ADET or anything like that until we know later in the case if there's a problem. That's all I would do at this time. And let me also say, no further violent contact with the son, Logan Hicks, the victim, and no further violent contact with any family members, wife or daughter, anyone in the house. Okay.
What's the breakdown?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so with that 5, it'll be 2 and 2 on each of the batteries and 1,000 on the cruelty. So that's 2, 4, 5. Yeah. 2, 2, and 1.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. I think that's it. Anything else, counsel?
That's all I have, Judge. Have a great rest of your week. We appreciate you.
All right. You too. Thank you. All right. You can sign off as well, Ms. Hicks. Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
yeah, this is Keith Cook. I was wondering on the status of the Portuguese interpreter.
Portuguese.
He's here? She or he?
I'm here.
Okay, can we move me over to?
Right. So he can start interviewing. Thank you.
Gonna be courtroom 1. Okay, I'll do that, Judge. No problem. Did you get the add-on counter, Judge?
I'm still waiting on the main one to come over.
I thought you had the main one already.
No, I have it pulled up. I've sent it twice and it hasn't come across.
Do you need me to send it to another email to you?
Yeah, send it to my personal one, both of them.
Okay, I'll do that now. Now, Mr. Cook, I'll get ready to put you in the breakout room.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know, it's going slow today.
Who is this?
We can go to the add-on position 1 and 2.
Is this Lori Colvin?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I transition.
And she had put them in the chat for me. And so this is 24 CR 00658 Lori
Correct.
Colvin. And both charges are theft by shoplifting.
So, Your Honor, if I may, no, I'm in with the office with Noah Pines. So he was in the first appearance yesterday. There were 5 counts of misdemeanor shoplifting. The judge set a $500 bond on each. Then this morning, before her son bonded her out, they added these two more charges, the 7th and 8th.
Mhm.
So, there was a bond set on all 7, except for this last 8th one. For some reason, the police just came and added another one. So she had $1,000 bond on the last one. And there's just that one case now, the one ending in 581E. So since she had a double bond on the last one, can we just get a $500 SOB on this last shoplifting charge?
Yeah, the others,
One more.
the
Which
others are
means-
SOB as well.
No, I believe they're all surety.
Yeah, she got $500 surety bond yesterday on each count of theft by shoplifting. Which
Okay.
date is the one you said that she got a double bond on, Miss Dorfman?
So I believe it's the one ending in 582E. She paid $1,000 surety, or it's posted at $1,000 surety.
Okay, that's the one from January 25th.
Right. And then this is the oldest of the charges from January 3rd.
2024.
Correct. And that is the one ending in the 24 CR 0065881E.
We were going to ask for a $500 surety bond on the additional counts.
Okay, that's fine.
And I'm sure, kind of cut to the chase, pretrial, no history. Pretrial. Pretrial. He must have stepped away.
But I
Does
am seeing that these arrests that she has been arrested for are her first cycles.
Okay. All right. I will give the 500 SOB on the last one, jail.
Okay.
And kind of
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
shortchange it. I'm assuming she's connected and will be back to court.
For sure, Your Honor. And Noah will be talking with the solicitor's office to work out, hopefully there's a good program and everything to address the issues here.
Okay.
Excuse me. Hopefully the police are not going to try to sneak in another warrant before she gets out.
Well, I was
They just
gonna
keep coming.
say,
But anyway,
Hopefully she doesn't have any more theft by shoplifting charges.
I agree.
yeah,
So,
you don't see anything else, do you, Ms. Lewis?
Excuse me, Judge. No, I don't see anything else, but it's a SOB. I guess the jail's asking. It's a SOB through the jail.
Yes.
Ms. Colling.
On both,
No, just on one. She already posted bond, $1,000 bond on the incident date of January the 25th of 2004. She already posted $1,000 surety on that. So the second one, the last one that was added, number 8, which is the incident date of January the 3rd, that's going to be a $500 SOB through the jail.
so
Okay.
all her bonds are set, correct? Has she posted on the first
She
7?
posted all the bonds. She
Okay.
Oh,
posted
so she's
already.
even posted. Okay.
She posted all of them. It's just this one was just added and added this afternoon, and it didn't have no bond selected to it. But she posted all her bonds already.
Excellent.
So
So
once
she's,
she should be able to be released after this if they don't, like you said, put another
okay, it better not be.
warrant on her.
Okay, so that will be $500 SOB on this last one, and then she's good. So she's good to be released.
And what are
Correct.
the conditions on there, Judge? The same
Yeah,
on the last
where's
one?
stay away from? Where did
Stay
I
away
think it's
from
all
all target locations.
stay away from all targets? Okay.
Yes.
All targets in Fulton County?
All targets everywhere.
Everywhere, even in Alaska? I say that.
Don't say about Alaska. I just came back from Alaska.
Just came
Oh.
back from Alaska.
Oh, that's on my bucket list.
Yes, yes.
Just came back from Alaska.
So yes, tell her to stay away from Target and no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Thank you so much, Your Honor, and thank
All
you
right,
so much,
you're
Ms.
welcome.
Lewis, for your assistance, and thank you, Ms. Tracy. How do you pronounce your last name?
Mokake.
Mokake.
Okay.
Thank you very
Yes.
much as well.
No problem. And
All
Ms.
right,
Holly,
thank
if you
you.
have any problems with the bond writing up, let me know and I'll
Okay,
make
I
sure it's
just, for
clear.
the record, just go ahead and tell me on the add-on one, what is that bond amount?
The add-on one is gonna
500.
be $1,000 surety. I'm sorry, $500 SOB through the jail. I'm sorry. Add-on one
Yes. Add on one.
is
Right.
500 SOB through the jail.
Okay,
And number
and on the
2 will be $1,000 surety, which you already posted, but you just put it on the order.
Right.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay,
all.
good.
You're
Great,
welcome.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Great. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Oh, one One more question, Judge. Did you get the counters? I sent them to your personal email.
Yes, thank you. I don't know what was going on. I'll print real quick. I guess it likes you better.
Okay, we can get the rolling.
All right. All right, who do we have, deputies?
Position number 15, Mr. Ryan. I say last name?
Okay,
Pfeiffer.
hold on,
Judge Ryan Bramlett, I represent Mr. Pfeiffer. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Oh, good afternoon. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna do it this way while my copy is doing late printing. All right, and pronounce the last name. Is it Pfeiffer?
That is
Ryan
correct.
Pfeiffer. All right, 24 CR 006576D, 3 counts of theft by shoplifting. Offense dates 8/6, 7/3, and 6/30. Pre-trial
First.
first, okay. All right, state.
Good afternoon, Judge. The warrants for these cases were secured yesterday for incidents taking place June 30th of this year, July 3rd of this year, and August 6th of this year, all at the Target in Johns Creek. In all instances, the defendant came into the Target store and purchased different kinds of Legos. And he goes to the checkout, the self-checkout, to purchase those, but instead of ringing up the Legos, he rings up something cheaper. In one instance, it was a $1 pull toy. In the other instances, it was like a $5 tumbler cup, and then bags the items as if he paid full price and exits the store. All transactions were under $500. Your Honor, state's requesting a $500 surety bond on each count. Stay away from all targets in Fulton County. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond. Thank you.
All right, Attorney Bramblett.
Judge, I have no objections to what the state is asking. I would like to tell you that Ryan is 20. He has no criminal convictions, as the state indicated. He is a student at Georgia Southern. He's an AB, mainly an A student. His family, his mom and father, are on the Zoom link currently, if you want to hear from them, Judge. But the recommendation, I think, coming into this, Your Honor, he had a surety bond in the amount of $600 and $600. He didn't have a bond on the third charge. So $500 each, we're certainly not objecting to.
All right, so we had 600, and no bond,
Correct.
or zero at that point. And he is 20 years old, you said, and a student at Georgia Southern. So he was home on a break from Target, or that was during the summer?
It was during the summer. I would like to add, Your Honor, he was told about these warrants from Johns Creek. He immediately came up from school to turn himself in the same day. But you're correct. To answer your question, yeah, it was during the summer. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then he's going to be going back to Georgia Southern as soon as he gets out. Is that correct? He's in school now?
That is correct, Judge.
What year is he in?
Judge, my understanding, I did not ask his parents, nor have I met with Ryan. I talked to him on the phone yesterday. I believe he is a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that right? He's shaking his head. All right, he's a sophomore. Okay. And hold on a second. Now I have my calendar in front of me. I'm a little out of sorts for a moment. All right, here we go. On the first two that are 600 sureties, and then the 500 on the third, I will do straight across the board, 500 on each. I don't honestly know that they need to be sureties.
Your Honor, the only reason the state's requesting surety bonds is because this really is 3 different cases. It should be 3 separate case numbers, but at this point, given that we got these cases this morning, it's not yet 3 different case numbers, but these are 3 different incident dates and 3 different transactions. It's not shoplifting 3 different times in one day. It's several times over the course of the summer.
Separate, yeah.
Yeah.
And Your Honor, really, I think my client's parents were requesting just cash. They were intending to pay that, but really that's not too important to us, but whatever the court thinks is appropriate.
And I'm assuming then to get him out as fast as possible.
Correct, Judge. We would like to get him out ASAP and get back into school. Correct.
So, state, what I'm thinking is, and I don't know, does cash get them out quickly? I asked that in a sort of weird way, because I don't know that it does.
In my
cash-
experiences, Your Honor, it does, because it's, you're going directly there and paying the cash in my experiences, but you certainly never know.
Mm-hmm. Deputy. Is it Deputy Norris or is it Deputy Blunt?
Saint Serene.
Huh?
It's Saint Serene today.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does cash get them out the next quickest rather than
What's that?
signature?
I believe they're the same process.
For cash and signature?
Yes.
That probably makes sense. All right. I'm going to order the 1500 cash bond. And because I don't want to straight do signature, because I want to make sure that Mr. Pfeiffer is finished with whatever was going on during the summer and understands that it is serious and we don't really want to see him back here again under any circumstances. So I'm going to order the 1500 cash bond, which will be 500 on each charge. And I'm going to order that he stay away. Is it all targets?
It is, Your Honor. Yes.
From all target locations. No drugs, unprescribed medication, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. I'm going to order him to stay in school, go to class. And if he were here, I would possibly put a curfew on him, but it'd be very difficult to monitor, so I won't put a curfew on him. Another thought going through my head is a theft class, but I don't know what they have down at Georgia Southern. I just want him to understand the seriousness and, like I say, to learn a lesson to not do this again. And state, I know you don't know the answer about that, about there being a theft class. I guess he'd have to reach out to someone down there to see. Or is it virtual?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. I believe pretrial has one, but since this isn't going through pretrial and we're at just the bond hearing phase at this point, we didn't request one.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
What's this
So,
bond again? I'm sorry.
1500 cash, 500 on each.
Oh,
And I
okay.
think the parents are ready to do that and have it done pronto.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and stay away from all targets.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, that'll do it.
Have a seat. Beasley. Next, we have position number 1, Mr. Beasley.
Okay.
Your Honor, this is a bind over case. Typically the bind overs don't need a second first appearance. He's already had a first appearance and they set a bond for him.
I was going to say, he has a bond on all the charges.
He has a bond.
Okay, this is number 1 or 2.
1.
Okay, it's only 1 charge is all I see for number 1.
It is, Your Honor. It's just that one charge. But this was
Go ahead.
so he does have, he has 2 other cases where he was given just an OR bond through the municipal court that have been sitting in our queue to accuse. So since his name came on my desk today, I went ahead and accused his other cases as well. So he is going to have multiple open cases in addition to he already has an open shoplifting case. But for purposes of bond today, Your Honor, he's already received a bond on this matter. And he's already had a first appearance in municipal court. And his other bonds, his other cases, I'm sorry, he's already got signature bonds. So those cases won't affect his bond in this case. So
Okay.
I'm just asking, I guess, why hearing him today if he already has a bond and this is just a bind over. Of
Okay.
course, I'll be prepared to go forward either way, but
Nope. And the bond right now is how much?
2,500, Your Honor.
2,500 surety.
Yes.
Do you know where that was set? By whom?
Union City. And Union City has given him, Your Honor, so this is someone who he's about to have 5 or 6 open cases shoplifting at this Walmart. He's been given signature bonds through Union City most of the time. So at this point, if I had to guess why the judge gave a surety bond of 2,500 now, it's because of all of his open cases. And I also noticed on his GCIC that there's another arrest for shoplifting that has an incident date of the 17th. And it's my understanding that he may have been incarcerated. So I don't know if there's another warrant out there, possibly for another incident happening at this same Walmart. And in his open case, his open shoplifting case from April, it's 24 CR 11775. That happened at a Quick Trip, and Judge Law ordered a $2,500 good bond in that last case as well. And he posted that. And so at this point, my argument for bond would just be to remain as it's currently set. And given that his last shoplifting case, he had a $2,500 good bond, the Ayala factors haven't changed. In fact, I'd say the risk of reoffense has probably increased since then, now that we know about some of these other cases. So we would just ask that the bond remained as it currently is. And if Your Honor is inclined to enter another order, then do a stay away from Walmart, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and a $2,500 surety.
Yeah, let's do that. Ms. Bridgewater, 2,500 surety.
Your Honor, we'd like heard since the state has been heard.
All right, let me go ahead, Mr. McLean. I apologize.
Your Honor, he's stealing food. He lives in a tent with his schizophrenic son. He's on leave of absence for his job with Crown Linen. He works for a linen company. He has beat prostate cancer, and he's now dealing with colon cancer. A few weeks ago, he missed one of his appointments because of his challenges of residential challenge living in this tent. It's a pathetic situation. He shouldn't be, if he is doing anything like what he's being accused of, he shouldn't be doing it, but he's stealing food, and that's his situation. We'd ask for a signature bond.
Your Honor, respectfully, aside from his residential issues, the amounts that he's stealing, it's like upwards of $200 worth of groceries. So if he's staying in a tent and like in this case, for example, it's all meat, how is he storing all of that if he's being in a tent? You know, of course, we'd have no objection to it
and selling it, probably.
You know, we certainly have no objection to a social worker visit or a BH or anything of that matter to try to help with some of those issues.
You know, I would like to do what I'm going to put in the order today is that he definitely have a BH visit, because maybe there's some place he can go stay rather than a tent, with the health issues and the issues that the son has. I am concerned about that, and that he's not going to stop. Obviously, he's not, you know, so otherwise I would have given him a signature bond. You know, I do hear the health issues going on, but just because you have that doesn't mean you can go steal from everywhere to support yourself and your family. There are people and programs out here that will help and avoid you becoming a criminal. What's his history? I didn't even get to hear that. How many cycles does he have pre-trial?
This the bind over? What's his name?
Yes, Terry
It's Beasley, Your Honor. Yeah, typically
Oh.
bind overs aren't on the calendar, so I don't know if you have it, Mr. Howard, but he has
I don't.
37 cycles. He's 37 cycles, Your Honor. He's got
37.
Yes, and his last 6 or so arrests are for shoplifting. He is a
Right.
convicted felon. He has a conviction for burglary from 2009. And last 10 years, besides all of these shopliftings, there's a couple probation violations, things of that nature. But the only other conviction that I saw was driving on a suspended.
And where's the son while he's in jail? Do you know, Mr. McLean?
I have no idea. I imagine he's in the tent.
How old is he?
I don't know the age of the son. Mr. Terry Beasley is 68.
So he may be in his 30s, 20s.
And Your Honor,
30s.
some of the reports mention that when he's at Walmart, he's with a wife or someone, it might be mom involved. She's also been at the Walmart when these things are happening. So There might be
Okay.
another person.
Well, I'm certainly sympathetic to his condition, but I don't feel like he deserves a signature bond with this kind of history, 37 cycles, and he just keeps doing it. He's raising his hand. I don't know what he could say that would change my mind at this point, except that he does need his medical treatment, but got to make sure he's ready to stop coming to the jail and stealing.
Mr. Beasley, I'm going to ask the medical staff of the jail to try to get onto that colon cancer as soon as they can, okay?
All right, 25. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So, are you okay, Ms. Bridgewater, 2,500 surety, stay away from all Walmarts
Mm-hmm. I have.
and see if we can get a BH evaluation there. Our social worker can talk to him.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
people say, oh, well, they were just stealing food. You don't get it passed because it's food. You just shouldn't steal, period. And with his history, he needs to stop and get some help. All right, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, unprescribed medication, or guns and weapons while on bond. That's it.
Can we go to the interpreter case, position 13, Mr. Monte de Santana?
Yes, thank you.
Let's keep that. Where's she at?
All right, where is, let's see, the interpreter?
Oh, boy. I don't know. I don't think she's signed back in as of yet. We can go to the next case until she logs on.
Well, is she logging on or is she just getting out of a breakout?
She's supposed
Mr.
to be.
Cook, where did she go?
Probably accidentally left completely.
Oh, no. I hope not.
She's coming out the break room now, Judge.
Oh, I see her. Okay.
There we go.
Madam Interpreter? Okay. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you affirm that you will interpret from Portuguese to English and English to Portuguese the proceedings before the court today without any embellishments and to the best of your ability?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. Put your hand down. All right, this is case number 24, CR 00657-1A. Okay, go ahead if you want to give the number. Go ahead.
Esse então é o caso 24 CR 006571A.
This is State versus Lucas Monte de Santana, charged with 1 count of theft of lost or mislaid property.
Esse é o caso da promotoria versus o senhor Lucas Monte de Santana, acusado de roubo.
All right, pre-trial.
Então vamos ouvir agora da
I got first
acusação.
arrest for Monte de Santana.
Eu tenho aqui então prisão de Monte de Santana.
All right, State.
Promotoria.
Your Honor, this incident took place April 9th, 2023.
Esse caso aconteceu em 9 de abril de 2023.
The victim in this case, Christopher Larkin, returned his rental car to the Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
A vítima nesse caso, Christopher Larkin, retornou o carro alugado dele para Enterprise.
The incident location is 2200 Rental Car Center Parkway in College Park.
O endereço é 2200 Rental Car Parkway em College Park.
When the victim returned his rental vehicle, he left his wallet in the vehicle with $500 cash.
Quando a vítima retornou o carro, ele deixou a carteira dele com $500.
When he returned to Enterprise to see if he left his wallet, the wallet was found, but the cash was missing.
Quando ele voltou à Enterprise para ver se a carteira tinha sido encontrada, ela tinha sido encontrada, mas estava sem o dinheiro.
The Enterprise risk manager later viewed security footage that shows the defendant.
Depois disso, o gerente da Enterprise viu a gravação de vídeo, né, que mostra o acusado.
The defendant at the time was a subcontractor who cleans and services the rental cars after they're turned in.
Naquele momento, o acusado, ele era subcontratado, né, limpava, lavava os carros depois de serem alugados.
The defendant is seen driving the vehicle to the service center.
O acusado é visto dirigindo o veículo até o centro de serviço.
He is seen finding the wallet and interacting with it.
Ele se mostra ele encontrando a carteira, interagindo com a carteira.
And then turning the wallet into lost and found.
E aí colocando a carteira nos achados e perdidos.
When the manager confronted the defendant about it, he admitted to stealing the money.
Quando o gerente confrontou ele sobre o incidente, ele concordou que tinha pego o dinheiro.
This is his first arrest, so the state's requesting a signature bond through the jail.
Essa é a primeira prisão dele, então a promotoria está pedindo uma fiança.
No further contact with Christopher Larkin.
Nenhum contato mais com Christopher Larkin.
A stay away from the incident location.
Ficar longe do local desse incidente.
No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Não usar armas, drogas ou álcool enquanto estiver em liberdade vigiada.
And if your honor can sound for Mr. Larkin, thank you.
E eu, então, posso assinar pelo Sr. Larkin.
All right, is Mr. Larkin on the Zoom?
O Sr. Larkin está aqui nessa ligação via Zoom?
No.
No.
All right, go ahead, PD Cook.
Your Honor, we have no objection to the recommendation of the state for a signature bond.
Nós não temos nenhuma objeção à recomendação da promotoria a uma fiança.
Or any stay away or no further contact provision.
Ou com a provisão do acusado manter distância.
How old is he?
Qual a idade dele?
28.
28.
And I'm assuming has he been fired, so I'm ordering not to go back to his job.
E eu imagino que ele deve ter sido demitido, né? Então eu não vou mandá-lo de volta para o trabalho.
He is now self-employed doing other things. He is not he never worked for Enterprise. He's no longer working for the subcontractor.
Ele agora está como autônomo, fazendo outros tipos de trabalho. Ele não trabalha para Enterprise, e não trabalha mais para a empresa que prestava serviços para Enterprise.
And he's connected to Georgia. Where's he?
Well, he's been here for 2.5 years. He's been in the Atlanta area for 2.5 years.
Ele tem conexões aqui na Geórgia? Ele está aqui há 2 anos e meio.
He is married, and they live together. So his intention is to make this his home.
Ele é casado e a intenção dele é fazer a sua casa aqui, ser o seu local de moradia.
All right. All right, I will order a $2,000 signature bond through the jail.
Eu, então, vou fazer a ordem de uma fiança de $2.000 através da cadeia.
I will order him to stay away from Enterprise rental car. or
Man-
the incident location?
Manter distância da Enterprise Rental Car ou do local desse incidente.
And to have no further contact with the victim, Christopher Larkin.
E não ter mais nenhum contato com a vítima, Christopher Larkin.
And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
E não usar drogas, álcool, armas, revólveres, enquanto estiver sob liberdade vigiada.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank
Obrigada,
you.
meritíssima, obrigada.
All right, is anything else, counsel? That should be it.
Mais alguma coisa, advogado?
And I believe we can release the interpreter, is that correct?
A intérprete pode ser liberada?
Okay, I think that'll do it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Next, we have position number 2 through 4, Mr. Bolton.
Two through four, okay. This is Monterio Bolton. We have three cases. First case being 24 CR 006560G. He's charged with one count of battery family violence, one count of battery, one count of simple cruelty, and 3 counts of cruelty to children in the third. That offense date is March 14th, 2024. The second case is 24 CR 006561G. He's charged with one count of battery family violence and 2 counts of cruelty. Offense date July 30th, 2024. And the third case is position 4, 24 CR 006562G. He's charged with one count of battered family violence, 2 counts of cruelty to children, and that offense date is July 23rd, 2024. Am I right to assume these are all the same victims?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, but they're all different dates.
Yes.
Okay.
This ain't no
All right.
typo. Second arrest, 2022 ag assault dismissed. He went to felony earlier and got no bond, so.
So as expeditiously and quickly that you can do this, state, go ahead.
Okay, I'll just go in chronological order of the events that took place. The first case is position 2 that occurred March 14th. The incident location is 1588 Ezra Church Drive. The victim in this case, Nakara Sheets, stated the defendant, who was the father of her child, assaulted her during an argument. The defendant shoved her in front of their children. The fight ended and she went upstairs. The defendant then followed her upstairs and tried to take Miss Sheets's car keys out of her hand, causing a cut on her right index finger. After he wrestled her for the keys on the sofa, the defendant then left and then returned and ran to the front window of the house where Miss Sheets's mother, Bobby Sheets, was holding the window closed. The defendant forcefully pushed open the window, striking Miss Bobby Sheets in the face and causing a cut to her upper lip and nose, which was observable by officers when they arrived at the location. The defendant then entered the house and struck Nakara Sheets once again in the head. The children, a 1-year-old with the initials MSB and a 3-year-old with the initials SHB, were present during the incident against both Miss Nakara and Bobby Sheets. The second incident occurred July 23rd, 2024, and that is position 4. That incident location is 761 Morosco Drive Northeast in Atlanta. A Lyft driver by the name of Paul Coleman called the police after he arrived to pick up Miss Nakara Sheets. Mr. Coleman stated that he witnessed the defendant punch Miss Sheets in the face for an unknown reason. Officers did observe swelling and redness to Ms. Sheets' face upon their arrival. Mr. Coleman, the Lyft driver, stated that the defendant punched Ms. Sheets and then pulled her off to continue to attack her. This incident occurred in front of their 1-year-old and 3-year-old as well. The third incident, occurred July 30th, 2024, and that is the same incident location as the first incident. This incident is position 3. It occurred 7 days after the incident involving the Lyft driver. The defendant and Ms. Nakara Sheets were arguing when the defendant struck her on the left side of her face with an open hand, causing observable swelling. The children they share, the 1-year-old and 3-year-old, were again present, and Ms. Sheets was holding the 1-year-old in her arms when the defendant struck her. As pretrial stated, the defendant is in custody for 2 aggravated assault charges, 24 PI 006866 and 24 PI 006867. The defendant is accused of shooting at a Timokez Garrison with a gun on September 12, 2024. He's also accused of pulling out a handgun and pointing it at Ms. Nakara Sheets on May 4th, 2024. The incident where he pulled the handgun and pointed it at Ms. Nakara Sheets happened in front of her sister, Ms. Chandria Sheets. The defendant, as pretrial stated, was arrested in 2022, and that charge was dismissed. That arrest was for shooting his gun close to Ms. Nakara Sheets' feet in the presence of her mother and I believe her father, Steve Sheets. The case was dismissed because the victim at that time did not wish to prosecute. So all of this to say, this defendant has a significantly violent history with this victim. And as we know, with cases like this, it just escalates each and every time. It's gotten to the point where the defendant is shooting at her. All of this is happening in the presence of their children. And so there is a severe concern for the safety of this victim and also for the safety of her children. There is a risk that he will reoffend because he has done it numerous times. And there's a risk that he will intimidate this witness, as I'm sure is what happened when the case was dismissed in 2022. So given everything that we have in front of us today, the state's recommendation is going to be for a $25,000 cash bond, $5,000 on each of the 4 battery family violence charges, $500 on each of the 8 cruelty to children charges, and $1,000 on the simple battery family violence. No further contact with Nakara Sheets, no further contact with Paul Coleman, no further contact with Bobby Sheets, Ms. Sheets' mother, no contact with the minor children that they share, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, surrender all firearms to the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, and a stay away from the incident location 1588 Ezra Church Drive.
Okay, give me, you said on the breakdown with the 25,000, you said 5,000 on
Each battery family violence.
Battery family violence, and that's 2 of them. So that's 10. And then
He had
that's 1. He has 2 battery family violences, right? Oh, I'm not counting the 4th, so it's 3. I'm sorry.
So he has, I'm sorry, it looks like for position 2, that's just a battery, not a battery family violence. So 5,000 on each.
Well, I'm
battery
showing
family
2.
violence.
Have you dismissed 1? I'm looking at the calendar.
No,
Position
so
2, the battery family violence and a battery.
yes,
And
so 5,000 on each of those.
It's a simple battery family violence on there too.
Yeah.
Would you like me to repeat the breakdown?
Please.
So it's going to be 5,000 on each count of battery, and there's 1 straight battery. 5,000 on each count of battery family violence, and there's 3 counts of battery family violence.
Tell you what, why don't you go for each case? Because we're going to have to do an order for each case and not collective. So let's start with position 2. What is your recommendation on that one?
Recommendation for position 2 is 5,000 cash on the battery family violence, 5,000 cash on the battery, 1,000 cash on the simple battery family violence, 500 cash on each of the 4 counts of cruelty to children.
Okay. All right, so that's gonna be a total then of 10, 11, 12, is that 13? 5, 10, 11, and 500 times 4 is 2. That's 13,000
Hold on,
on
it's
that
10,000
first case.
plus
Somebody
2,000.
help me with the math.
Yep, that's correct.
All right,
That's
so
what I,
13,000 cash on the first case.
and
All right.
then
Position 3,
position 3, it's gonna be 5,000 cash on the battery family violence, and then 500 on each of the 2 counts of cruelty to children.
so your recommendation is 6,000 cash on that case.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then the third case, position 4,
It's gonna be 5,000 on the battery family violence, and then 500 on each of the 2 counts of cruelty to children.
all right, so that's 6,000 cash. So 6 is 12 and 13. So good, 25, it equals. Look, that was a hard math exercise.
It was a lot of numbers.
Yes, and that's why I said we'll go case by case. All right, so that's the state's recommendation, 25,000 cash. And hopefully everybody was keeping up with the breakdown. And I do have it written down as well. You, Miss Bridgewater?
Yes, ma'am. I'm writing, taking notes as we talk.
Good, all right. Go ahead, PD Cook.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 23 years old. He has lived in the area his entire life. He is not currently employed. We would be asking for a surety bond as low as possible. Beyond that, we would just ask, we would defer to the court's discretion.
All right. He doesn't seem to get it, so I'm not impressed at all with his history and these cases. This is ridiculous that this woman and children have to go through this. This is terrible. And I know he has no bond in felony, but I'm inclined to go with the state on the $25,000 cash bond. I'm gonna make sure that this woman and children can live in peace and safety. So you heard the breakdown, correct? First case is 13,000 cash. Second case, 12,000 cash. Third case, 6. I'm sorry, I said that wrong myself.
Third is 6,000 cash.
Yeah, second and third cases are 6,000 cash, and the first case is 13,000 cash. There's a total of 25,000 cash amongst the 3 cases. Stay away from Nakaria Sheets and her 2 minor children. And stay away, I'm sorry, no further contact with Nakari Sheets and her 2 children, 2 minor children, no further contact. No further contact with Bobby. Is her last name Sheets?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor, same last name.
With then no further contact with her mother, Bobby Sheets. He is to stay 200 yards away from her, no contact by phone, third parties, or cell, text, nothing. Stay away from her job. Stay away from the children's daycare, if there is such a place. Stay away from her home and her mother's home, if they're different places. Stay away from these incident locations. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
And Your Honor, there was also a stay away from Mr. Paul Coleman, who was the Uber driver who reported one of the incidents.
Oh, no further contact. No further contact with the Uber driver, Paul something Coleman. All right.
Your Honor, can I ask again what that on that first case, which is position 2, what was the it was a cash bond, but what was the amount there? I think the other two were 6.
13,000 cash.
Thank you.
Let me make sure I have these numbers on the right places. On the battery family violence, was that 5,000 on the cash?
For the position 1, yes.
No, for position 2. What is the
Oh.
first of his 3 cases?
Oh, yeah, position 2, which is the first
Okay.
case, yes. And
So
5,000 on each of the batteries, which is a 10. And then 1,000 on the simple. And then 500 on the 4 cruelties, which is a total of 2,000.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, to make 13.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we could go to position number 7, Mr. Harris.
There you go.
Okay.
Kathy, that's it. Sure.
But this is position number 7.
All right, 24 CR 006563E, Michael Harris, charged with 1 count of simple battery and 2nd count of battery pretrial.
9th arrest, 2023 battery DV dismissed. 2022 criminal damage to property. 2022 simple battery terrorist threats, obstruction. 2021 robbery. 2021 battery DV dismissed.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred September 18th, 2024 at Grady Hospital. The defendant arrived in an ambulance and was arguing with his nurse regarding his treatment. The defendant then walked down the hall and pushed a security staff member. Then he balled up some graham crackers and threw it in the face of Mr. Darius McNeil, who was a security officer. Mr. McNeil told the defendant to leave, and the defendant grabbed Mr. McNeil by the collar and punched him. Mr. McNeil and the defendant then fought, and Mr. McNeil suffered scratches and bruises to his face and right hand, which was observed by officers. As you heard, the defendant is a multi-state offender. I don't know if pretrial stated this, but he does have arrests out of California, Ohio, and Tennessee. So given the defendant's history and the fact that he has cases out of multiple states, and he also has some open cases, 2 in DeKalb actually, the state's recommendation is going to be for a $3,000 surety bond, $2,500 on the battery and $500 on the simple battery. He currently has a $2,500 surety bond, so we are asking for an increase to his bond. No further contact with Darius McNeil. Stay away from Grady Hospital unless it is medically necessary. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and also a social worker visit.
All right. PD Cook or McLean.
Best bond, Your Honor. Your Honor,
Okay.
given his income of no income, we would be asking for a surety bond as low as possible, and we certainly agree of the social worker visit. In fact, I would like it to be bumped up to specify BATT, and I will get that request to them as soon as possible, and then perhaps we can go from there. I believe he is on some medication when he can get it. I'm not sure what the status of that is now in the jail, but and we have no objection to any of the stayaways or no contact provisions.
All right, I'm going to order $3,000 surety bond That'll be 500 on the simple battery, 2,500 on the battery. With that surety bond, he is to get a BHET and our social worker visit. Stay away from the incident location. And I dare say, unless he's getting treatment, because maybe he needs to go somewhere else for treatment if he can't treat the Grady employees decent.
Mm.
I don't know. But no further violent contact with the Grady employees. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Anything else?
We had asked for no further contact with the particular Grady employee, Darius McNeil, who was the victim in the incident.
Darius McNeil. No further contact with him. Okay. Anything else?
Nothing
Nothing.
further.
Thank you.
Next, we can have position number 11, Mr. Lindsay.
This is 24 CR 006579A. Olympian Lindsay, charging 1 count of disorderly conduct. Pretrial.
Was this on the pool sheet?
No.
Oh, I don't have it. Why y'all just be adding people to this calendar?
No, I don't know who's doing that. Not me.
It's a long story, pretrial.
All right, go ahead, Steph.
Your Honor, let me just find him in my notes, excuse me. So Mr. Lindsay is also a bind over judge. He had a first appearance on the 19th of August, and it appears that the bond order you can't see what the bond was, so he's been sitting with no bond, so we just need to address his bond. However, he has had a first appearance. This incident took place first let me start with his history, Judge. He's got 12 cycles out of Georgia, 1 cycle out of South Carolina. His last arrest was in 2018 for a parole violation. He also had a CWAC charge that was dismissed. He had an FTA in 2018, and he's on parole for voluntary manslaughter and aggravated assault. This is an incident that took place at his mother's house on August 17th at 4630 Hopewell Road. The mother called the police. Her name's Willie Mae Walker. She advised that her son was irate and acting violently toward her and the family. She stated that he had been drinking and been acting disorderly and brought a gas can into her home and was trying to pour gas on all the family members. Your Honor, the state's requesting a $1,000 surety bond, given that this is an incident involving trying to harm several of his family members, and he is on parole for manslaughter and aggravated assault. We're asking for no further contact with Ms. Walker at this time, a stay away from her residence, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Okay.
The address again for that residence?
It is 4630 Hopewell, Hopewell Road.
Thank you.
All right. PD Cook.
Yes, Your Honor. We don't have a lot of information on the case, but giving the background as recited by pretrial, we're going to leave this within the discretion of the court.
All right, I will order that $1,000 surety bond. And with that 1,000 surety bond, I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. No further contact with Ms. Walker. And I guess that's it. Did I miss anything, counsel?
Stay away from her residence, Your Honor, the incident location.
Oh, yes. Stay away from, I already said from the victim, Miss Walker, right? And then, well, I guess she's the only victim that I said
You're
by
right. Yeah,
name.
the only reason this is a disorderly is because the report at this point doesn't have any other, doesn't name the specific people that he was trying to pour the gas on. So at this point, we're just asking for no further contact with Miss Walker, who's the mom who called the police, and then a stay away from her residence where all the family were gathered.
Mm-hmm. And that's residence of Miss Walker as well.
As far as I'm aware, Your Honor, yes.
Okay, so again, he's got to stay 200 yards or 2 football fields away from Miss Walker. So govern yourself accordingly, Mr. Lindsay. So I think that's it. And then stay away from that Hopewell Road address. I think we're good. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Next.
We can go to position number 16, Mr. Reed.
Yeah. (24 CR 006572B), James Reed, charge of 1 count of DUI, let's say, pretrial.
9th arrest, 2004 DUI conviction, 2002 and 1994 conviction. That's all.
Okay.
Your Honor, this incident took place September 13th. An officer was heading north on Headland Drive at DeLoe Drive in East Point when he observed a gray Toyota Camry at the intersection not moving. He approached the driver and noticed that the car was in neutral. The driver stated that he was on his way to the Wayfields grocery store and did not know why his vehicle was in neutral. He actually thought that the vehicle was moving at the time. The officer noticed that the defendant was extremely intoxicated. His speech was slurred. He had bloodshot eyes. He was incoherent, confused, stuttering, mumbling. He was unable to walk. He was staggering. He almost fell several times. Based on his level of intoxication, Your Honor, the officer was not able to perform any sort of field sobriety tests, and the defendant was likewise unable to consent to any breath or blood tests. The officer did find an empty bottle of the Richards Wild Irish Rose red alcohol in the vehicle. Your Honor, he has 3 prior DUIs as pre-trial stated. We certainly understand it's been some time. However, the defendant clearly hasn't forgotten that he shouldn't drive drunk, and there's a concern here. Now, this is his 4th DUI incident. Actually, I'm sorry, his 5th DUI incident. There was another DUI from 1998 where the disposition is not listed. So he either has 3 prior or 4 prior DUIs, Your Honor. So we're asking for a $1,000 good bond, no driving, an ADET or at least AA meetings, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. Thank you.
All right. PD McLean.
Your Honor, the admit me to sit in this chair and not ask the
Okay, I'm not hearing all
defense
of
would
you.
ask for.
Only getting the first 2 or 3 words and the rest goes out. So I'm not hearing what you're saying clear enough.
Let me move this phone a bit, Your Honor. It would be amiss of me not to ask the court to consider a signature bond if he's eligible for it, but the $1,000 surety bond is certainly within the range of reasonableness as well.
Okay. And how is Mr. Reed working or anything? Leave a little bit more about him and his personal life.
Well, Your Honor, he does floors at the City of Atlanta Municipal Court. He's a floor tech, which means he, keeps the floors clean and buffed and that sort of thing. That may be a part-time job, about half a week, because he's 68 and semi-retired. His address is as shown on the 3 cards. So he's a stable local person as far as residents and locality and community ties go.
Okay. All right, I will order the $1,000 good bond. And no driving unless he has a valid driver's license, no drugs, weapons, alcohol, or guns while on bond.
What was the amount?
1,000 surety.
Thank you. You can have a seat with us. You can have a seat with us. Next, we can go to position number 5, Mr. Cherry.
'24 CR 006565J, Christopher Cherry, charged with 2 counts of simple battery, family violence, and 1 count of hindering a person making an emergency telephone call.
24 DUI, 2012 battery DV, 09 entering auto, possession of tools for the commission of a crime, first offender. That's it.
Okay.
Your Honor, this incident occurred September 18th, 2024. The incident location is 4301 Scott Circle in Atlanta. Officers arrived and spoke with Dejoni, Dejonai Osborne, who stated that the defendant had taken her phone because he thought she was cheating on him. The victim ran downstairs to stop him from going through her phone, and that is when the defendant grabbed her from behind and pushed her into a wall and then took her phone. The victim states she reached into the defendant's pockets and took his phone so that she could call 911. And that is when the defendant threw her phone at her and told her, "Here, please don't call them." Our office has had a chance to speak with the victim, who states that her and the defendant have been together for approximately 1 year, and they do share a 3-week-old baby and reside at the incident location. They don't have a DV history, but she is scared now of the defendant and what he can do to her after this incident. She stated that she does believe the defendant may be going through some life stressors, as he recently lost his grandmother and he's not dealing with that grief well. But she did confirm the events in the warrant and stated that she wants no contact and wants to stay away from the residence until she has the opportunity to move out. Therefore, the state's recommendation is going to be for a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Dejoni Osborne, stay away from that incident location, some anger awareness, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Okay. Which PD?
That's my case, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client is 38 years old. He's lived in the area his entire life. He is a truck driver, and has been so been working in that business for 10 years. He denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. However, he does have a place to go, and he is fine with no further contact and staying away from the incident location. We'd be asking, given his limited history, for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate. Again, he's fine with the stay away, no further contact. He would ask for, if possible, third-party transfer to see his child, who is, I believe, about 3 weeks old now, for a month or so. Nothing further, Your Honor.
And I would just ask the court to sound for the victim, Dejoni Osborne, if she's on the Zoom. And we would object to a third-party transfer. We would just leave that at the discretion of the victim. Unless the minor child has been legitimated, then custody can just follow whatever parenting plan is in place.
Okay. $2,500 surety. With I guess, 1,000 on each of the simple batteries and 500 on the 911, so that's 2,500. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I guess that's it. Anything else?
Yes, Your Honor, no further contact with the victim and also the stay away. And we also asked for some anger awareness, but leave that in the court's discretion.
All right. Is that it?
Yes, that's it, Your Honor.
Yep. Okay.
Next, we can go to position number 17, Mr. Smith.
This is 24 CR 006573E, DeAndre Smith, 3 counts of theft by taking. Retrial.
10th arrest. Got an armed robbery, obstruction, ag assault conviction on probation. That's 21 SC 179330. 2020 FTA. 2017 shoplifting conviction. 2017 FTA. 2017 theft by receiving NOLO, disorderly conduct conviction. I think that disorderly was amended from another charge. Now he has a fugitive warrant out of Tennessee, so they should be coming. That's all.
Okay.
And Your Honor, the matter in Tennessee that's pending is an aggravated assault. And I believe he has a failure to appear for that, which would explain the warrant. And he also has another arrest from 2016 for theft by receiving, where there was no disposition that I could see. This incident took place on October 4th, 2023. Incident location is 555 McDaniel Street in Atlanta. The victim is Milton Stokes. Mr. Stokes reported that the defendant approached him and asked if he could use his phone. He let the defendant use his phone, and after the defendant had the phone longer than you would expect, the victim asked to have his phone back. And when he got it back, he noticed that the defendant had made an unauthorized Cash App transaction to himself in the amount of $606. When the victim confronted him, he snatched his phone and ran out of the building. And it was later discovered that in addition to that unauthorized Cash App transaction, that the defendant had also transferred $927 from his Navy federal account. We have been in touch with Mr. Stokes today. He states that he does not know the defendant. He actually had been asked to be let into the building, and he was being nice and let him in and then let him use his phone. He confirmed the events in the warrant. He stated that he has not gotten his phone back or the money, and he would like a no contact and a stay away and eventually some restitution. And given his history, Your Honor, the state's requesting a $1,000 surety bond on each count for a total of $3,000. No further contact with Mr. Stokes, a stay away from the incident location, 555 McDaniel Street. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if Your Honor can sound for Mr. Stokes, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Is it Milton Stokes?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Stokes. I don't think he's on there. All right, go ahead, PD McLean.
Thank you, Your Honor. While we would ask the court to consider a signature bond, we would also ask the court, if not leaning that direction, to consider something like $500 per count for a total of $1,500 surety. That would basically psychologically and in many ways have the same effect of making sure that he seriously stays organized and does not miss court. Your Honor, my client has worked at the Greek restaurant as a dishwasher and has moved up to making appetizers. His address is stable. He has family. He grew up here. His record is what it is, and we'd ask the court to consider that bond range as low as possible.
Excuse me, Judge. Ms. Mincy, can I state something about the charges that are previously on me right now?
Unless you're going to tell me you don't think it's you. Some people say that, and we find out sometimes it's a mistake, sometimes it's not. Are you saying some of the history is not your history?
No, ma'am, it's not. Currently, I just did 4 years in prison. And when these charges got accrued on me, I was in prison. So I have my documents right here when I got released, proving that I was in prison. So I didn't understand how these charges came about on me.
Can you all check his date of birth or see if it's the right person?
Were you in Georgia prison?
I was in Jenkins. I got released. I got arrested September 17th, 2020. And I got released. Come on.
What I miss?
I got released.
He's saying those are not charges that he
I got
had
released on
incarcerated.
9/17/2024.
This is Smith.
Yes.
What's first
Yes.
name?
DeAndre.
Let's see, armed robbery, Jenkins County.
Got released from Jenkins County, 9/17/2024. I got arrested in 2020, 9/17. 2020, 9/17. In the year of September. I was arrested during these accuses. On these charges that have been accused on me, these 3 thefts.
So he's not questioning the history, he's questioning the allegations right now.
Yes.
Oh, well, you've switched. Are you questioning the allegations?
Your Honor, he's saying that he was in
The
prison
new
at the
charge?
time this incident took place, so it couldn't have been
Right, I
him.
thought that's what he was saying, pre-trial.
That is what he's saying. We could prove by
He was in prison during that time.
Right.
During the incident date, 10/4/2023, is that correct?
Yeah, Your Honor, showing that he was in prison from July 18th, 2023 until yesterday, 2 days ago.
Oh,
So let me make sure, let me look at his date of birth and see.
And that would make it impossible for it to be him.
yeah. You see what I'm saying, pre-trial?
I was just my
I
issue
didn't
was
think he
criminal
was
history.
questioning.
Oh,
Right,
I'm
and
sorry,
that's
yeah.
what he's saying. Yeah, that wouldn't be, well, he couldn't have committed this crime. I don't know about the history
No,
as
this could
well.
be his history. He's just saying this
Yeah.
crime he didn't do because he was in prison. Okay. My bad. Let me go back to minding my business.
No, I misunderstood a little bit.
Smith is name, and I mentioned DeAndre Smith is a pretty common name.
It is, probably.
And see, what's your date of birth, sir?
12/19/98.
Okay, that's what the jailing screen has.
But he was just released 2 days ago.
Let me look at the warrants and see if possibly there's a typo on the date.
Okay.
Mr. Smith,
Sir.
you don't have a brother that is born on the same day as you, do you?
No, sir.
Okay.
My brother was born different year, different time, different dads.
Okay.
She got out, she didn't get out.
That's interesting. Well, Your Honor, he has a hold out of Tennessee, so might I propose we do this? We could do a signature bond release to his hold. And once we have the evidence in this case, we can look at it. Unfortunately, all we have at this point is the warrants. So there's
Okay.
no explanation of how this person was identified other than
that's
what's in
nice.
the warrants.
Right. Okay,
And we certainly don't want someone incarcerated that
yeah.
is
And he's
innocent.
only been out 2 days. My goodness. All right, so we'll just give it a $1,500 signature bond through the jail, release to his hold, and the state will continue to investigate the charges of the case.
And Your Honor, just we would still ask for no further contact with the victim and to stay away from that incident location.
All right, no further contact and stay away.
That 500 on each charge.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we will go to position number 18, Mr.
Thank you,
Watkins.
Judge. I have a nice day.
All right, you too. That 18.
Yes, 18 Watkins.
Okay. This is 24 CR 006574D, Jaquan Watkins, charged with 1 count of loiter and prowling. Pre-trial.
2022 hit and run DUI. Open DUI. Fair to maintain lane 21 CR 004574D. Appears to be on probation for the hit and run. It's 22 TR 106323 2014 parole violation. That's it.
And Your
Okay.
Honor, his open case, he has a bench warrant. I'm not sure if the jailing screen shows that,
Mr.
but if they
Watkins.
could update it.
Right, Mr. Watkins.
Yes,
Out of where?
from his open case in state
Oh,
court
from the
here,
open
21
case.
CR 004574D.
Oh, okay.
And it looks like it may be on his jailing screen already. I'll check in a second. Anyway, this case took place on September 5th, 2024, 8:45 p.m. at the Residence Hall at Georgia Tech, located at 118 Bobby Dodd Way. The defendant is seen on the video camera entering the residence hall. The residence hall is only for students, and it's only accessible if you have a key card reader. So he should not have been in that location at any point. He then enters the room of one of the female dorms from a student there whose name is Asmita Saraswat. She immediately asked him to leave, and he did leave. And we're requesting, Your Honor, a $1,000 surety bond, $500 on each count, no further contact with Ms. Saraswat, a stay away from Georgia Tech property, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. And if Your Honor can sound for Asmita Saraswat. Thank you.
Ms. Saraswat. All right. PD McLean.
Your Honor, my client receives disability SSI and a voucher each month. He is of lower financial means of struggling along. He has an address he's about to move to. He's been in the Atlanta area all his life. He's about to move to Markham Street. He's given me the phone number of his emergency contact, but he also gave me the phone number of his minister at his church, where on Sundays he runs the cameras and does the audio visual work. And that minister did tell me that he is very punctual and he's there every Sunday. And if he's ever sick and can't make it, he calls well in advance. He seems to be an organized person who would not miss an appointment. Currently is on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday working on his GED at Atlanta Area Tech. He will have a explanation for why he was confused. Somebody let him in, went the wrong way, trying to get out. But that's for the future. Don't mean to try the case here. We would ask for bond, and if not, what the state is proposing, I think he can make.
Can't hear you. Got a bad connection, PD McLean. At the very end, sketchy.
Oh, I was saying we would ask for a signature bond, but if the court is not inclined to that, the 1,000 surety is certainly something he could try to make through family.
Well, he has the bench warrant, so from a state court case.
I'll have to take a look at his D card on that.
That's
I
what,
see.
that's what,
Right.
ASG, yeah, yeah. Delciano is saying he has an open bench warrant from
The
here.
cases, yeah, the
State
cases
court.
are, the charges are on his booking screen already, Ms. Daciano. Those are the DUI and failed to maintain lane, which he does have a bond, surety set. At the time, we weren't doing the FTAs like we're doing them now, so it's the actual charges on the booking screen.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm,
There we are. Okay.
okay. I'll just order the 1,000 surety, 500 on each. Stay away from all Georgia Tech since it's obvious maybe that you're not a student there. Don't go to the campus, and that's probably 3/4 of downtown Atlanta. So be careful if you make bond and you're out that you don't get arrested by going on to their property. No further contact with the victim, Miss Senequat. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Hey, you got Ms. Crawford, you need to interview her.
Okay.
Sure.
Can you repeat the bond amount? And he wants to ask a question.
1,000 surety, total 500 on each. It's a criminal trespass and a crowding, so 500 each, total 1,000 surety. I don't know if his attorney wants him to ask a question, depends on what it is.
Do you have a question about the bonding procedure, sir?
The question was about,
I think they're seeing what the question is and
He,
maybe saying,
he's asking about his FTA.
no, we're not talking about that. He can talk to his attorney about that. Moving on.
Okay.
His attorney will call him.
Next, we can go to position number 21, Mr. Wright.
Yeah.
What's his number?
So.
This is 24 CR 006578H. Trayvon Wright, charged with 1 count of theft by taking, pretrial.
Third, got a 2024 theft by taking. Open case for sale of marijuana, 24 SC 003-107. That open theft by receiving, 24 PI 006-651. On probation for ag assault, cruelty to children.
All right.
That's out of Clayton County.
All right. Date.
Your Honor, this incident took place September 9th, 2024. You may recall on, I believe, Tuesday's calendar, this is apparently a co-defendant case with some of the folks stealing scooters at Georgia Tech. And there was an incident on the 9th of September where at the Clough Student Learning Center, there's a bike rack where scooters were removed, one of which belonged to Georgia Tech student Zan Dong. And then these scooters were then taken to the North Avenue MARTA station where his co-defendant admitted to selling them for profit. Your Honor gave the co-defendant a $1,000 good bond, no further contact with Zan Dong, stay away from Georgia Tech, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and out on bond. And the state at this point is asking for the same bond for this individual. They have somewhat similar histories. So that's a 1,000 surety, no further contact with Mr. Dong, stay away from Georgia Tech property, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. Thank you. Are we sure that we have any other warrants for him? Because warrants have been coming in for some of his co-defendants for some of the other scooters. And I'm just curious why there's only one at this point.
Oh, I have a question as well. How many co-defendants were there?
I'm not sure. The warrant doesn't specify, but this, his co-defendant that was on SCA earlier this week is Mr. Bacchus Tamonte.
Baccus. I remember
Yes.
seeing the name. Do you know who represented Mr. Bacchus?
I don't. I believe it was one of either you or Mr. Cook, so this may be a conflict for y'all.
If it was Mr. Cook, it would definitely be a conflict.
It's
Point.
Mr. Cook. It was Mr. Cook.
We need a conflict defender, Your Honor, for Trevon Wright.
You're not gonna get it today.
No, we're not.
Sorry, I was on the phone with another late arrival. Yeah, I represented Mr. Bacchus. I think he came up a couple of times this week.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we have no Riverside issue. We'll reset him to tomorrow. Try to get a conflict defender.
Your Honor, if you may inquire, he may want to go pro se today. If he elects to, then we would prefer to go forward. Of course, if this court resets it, then if he wants counsel, then we'll need to reset it.
Mr. Wright,
Yes, ma'am.
do you want to represent yourself or you want to wait for an attorney tomorrow?
I can represent myself.
All right. You know, consequences of representing yourself, you must need to know the law, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, we've kind of heard your case. Mr. McLean, you have anything else to say?
Your Honor, conflict, I can't.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. That was crazy of me. Sorry.
That's okay.
So I'm so used to saying that. Mr. Wright, how old are you?
I'm 20.
Do you work?
Yes, ma'am, I work.
Are you from Atlanta, Georgia or Georgia?
Yes, ma'am, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
High school graduate or not?
No, but I finished the 11th grade.
Okay. All right, and all your families here are quite a bit at least?
Yes, ma'am, I got one family. You saying at my house or in the chat?
No, your family in the area.
Oh, yes, ma'am, they on the northwest side.
And you're not a student at Georgia Tech, correct?
No, ma'am.
I don't like your history. It's concerning, but you know, it is there. I don't know about the theft cases and stealing of these scooters, and you've got that in your history. And then on probation for the ag assault. So I'm going to give you a $1,000 surety bond. And stay away from all of Georgia Tech's campus, however far and wide that is, through downtown.
Yes, ma'am.
And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Yes, ma'am. I got a question.
Uh-huh.
You said surety bond. What is that?
Gotta go through a bonding company.
How much do I have to pay?
I don't know, 10 or 15%, whatever they assess.
What was the amount?
Okay.
What was the
What was
amount?
the amount?
I'm sorry.
What was the amount on the bond?
Oh, 1,000 surety.
Oh, okay.
So what the
And Your Honor, we'd also ask to be consistent with his co-defendant's order if there could be a no contact with Zandong, Zhandong.
Okay, and no further contact with the co-defendant, Mr. Dong, and to stay away from Georgia Tech. Yep. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns.
Next, we will go to position number 20, Mr. Whitaker.
This is 24 CR 006577C. Justin Whitaker, charged with 1 count of battery. Pre-trial.
First.
Okay. State.
Sorry, Your Honor, which one are we on?
20, Justin Whitaker.
Okay, is his name Patterson or Whitaker, defense?
His mother's name is Patterson, but the jail is showing Whitaker, same person. I don't know legally what his name is.
Okay. I have it accused under Whitaker, but it seems like that may be a typo and it's Patterson. Perhaps we can ask the defendant in a second. This incident took place on September 18th, 2024 at 1026 Saratoga Drive in Alpharetta. The officers on scene initially made contact with the defendant and they noted he was very heavily intoxicated and loud and boisterous. The victim, Amber Patterson, is the defendant's wife. She stated that the defendant was heavily intoxicated, screaming and yelling at her. And he grabbed a weighted pillow and started swinging it around their bedroom, which knocked over their TV and hit her in the face, causing a laceration on the inside of her lip. She also stated that the defendant put his arms around her neck like a guillotine, is how she described it. She had no marks around her neck, and she stated she was still able to breathe. And after that happened, she took their 4 children and went to a neighbor's apartment. After speaking with the victim, the defendant had calmed down and spoke with officers, and he denied the guillotine type motion, but did admit to swinging the pillow. However, he was not sure if he had hit the victim with it or not. And one of their children, initials JD, was in his room during the incident. And he told officers that he didn't see anything or hear a physical altercation, but he did hear his parents yelling and it scared him. So he called 911. We've been in touch with Miss Patterson today. I believe she's also on the Zoom. She states that they have 4 children together. They reside at the incident location. She states they've been married for 17 years. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated this is the first time anything like this has happened, and she's afraid of him at this time. She states that the defendant had a bad accident last year and sustained a head injury, and he's hasn't been okay since then, and he's been drinking more and more. She states that there's suicidal issues going on. He's taken out his gun in front of her. She would like no contact for her or her children until he gets some sort of help. She's asking for an MH evaluation, an ADET, anger management, no firearms, and a one-time police escort. Your Honor, this is his first arrest. The state's requesting a signature bond through pretrial services, no contact with the victim or the kids at this time. We're also asking for either anger awareness or FFIB and ADET, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if Your Honor can sound for Miss Patterson, I'm not sure if she wants to speak, but if you would like to, Miss Patterson, you may. But you don't have to. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And what was your recommended bond again? I'm sorry.
Signature bond through pretrial, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Miss Patterson. Is that Amber Patterson? Do you wish to
Yes,
address the court
I'm
today?
sorry.
Yes or no? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
I'm here, yes.
Okay. All right. Do you wish to address the court today? Yes or no?
Yes, I can.
All right. Raise your right hand. I'm gonna swear you in first. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give rather, is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you in fear of Mr. Justin Whitaker?
His name is Patterson. Whitaker is my maiden name. I don't know how they got that. I'm only in fear of him when he's drinking. Otherwise, my husband has never reacted the way he did the other night. He is been having a lot of mental health issues, and that is my biggest concern, other than just our safety right now until he can get some help.
Okay. And so his last name is what?
Patterson.
Taylor, do we have the right history then? Because
No.
I ran it on it got ran on a Whitaker on mine.
And Whitaker is your maiden name?
My
but
maiden last name, yes.
And never his name?
Never his name, no.
Hold on, let me check what did you have pretrial?
They ran it on the Whitaker.
Let me see.
No, his legal name is Justin Burkett Patterson.
So for what I can see, this arrest is showing up on his GCIC.
Under what last name?
Yeah, what name?
Whitaker. So perhaps pretrial, is there any way you can run a history using his other name?
Is the information, the date of birth still the same on the booking? I wonder.
Ms. Patterson, is your husband's date of birth June 22nd, 1980?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right,
Should
give me
be
a
the
couple of
same.
minutes.
Okay. Unless it's an alias.
I called actually and told them earlier that when I spoke with the advocate, that was not, I don't know how they got that. Because he doesn't have that on anything.
It's
that
on
I'm
the
looking-
warrant, Your Honor. It might be a typo. The jailing screen has both names.
That's what they told me.
Mm-hmm. Your Honor, in the interest of time, maybe we can move on to another case while pretrial is doing that, and I can just give you the histories from the state's perspective on someone while Mr. Howard's running that other history.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We can go to position number 6, Ms. Crawford. Come on, Crawford.
This is 24 CR 006564Y. Ariana Crawford, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, 2nd count of willful obstruction.
And I have that this is Ms. Crawford's first arrest.
Okay.
This incident occurred September 18th, 2024 at the 5 Points MARTA station located at 30 Alabama Street Southwest. The defendant followed her sister to enter without a separate breeze card. They were then told to leave by officers and the defendant refused to leave. The officer asked her multiple times to leave or she would go to jail. The defendant proceeded to tell the officer, "I don't give an F," and then she was subsequently arrested. She did attempt to swat the officer's hand away and tried to run, but was taken to the ground. Given that this is her first arrest, the state's recommendation is going to be for a signature bond. Stay away from the MARTA located at 30 Alabama Street. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right. Judy McLean.
This is Cook's client. Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
This is my client, Your Honor. I'm sorry, I just
Oh.
got off a phone call with another with someone else. What was the recommendation again? I apologize. Oh, this is Ariana Crawford. Okay. I've got it.
Yes.
Okay,
The
that's just who I talked to. Okay, just absorbing this. Your Honor, my client is 17 years old. I don't believe there's any other record. She's in high school. I believe she's a senior now at South Atlanta. Given all that, of course, she doesn't work. We would be asking for a signature bond, and I apologize that I was looking for paperwork. I didn't hear all the recommendations. We're certainly asking for a signature bond, and through the jail, she does have somebody, if necessary, lined up to co-sign for her, and we would leave the rest of that, everything else, to the court.
You still in high school and independent?
She's 17 years old. I believe she lives with her family, Your Honor. Yes.
She's still in high school?
Yeah, South Atlanta High School, 12th grade.
Okay. She'll need a cosigner.
Okay.
I'm gonna give her a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1,000 on each. Level 1. And cosigners,
Sure.
I guess you gotta give them who it is, mother, father, who.
Right.
You need a,
To whom should I give the name and number of the cosigner?
It's Bridgewater.
Okay, I'll send that right away.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the only other thing we had asked for, Your Honor, was to stay away from the MARTA
Oh,
location.
stay away from Marta. Was at 5 Points.
Yes, the 5 Points MARTA.
Stay away from there. Don't go to MARTA at 5 Points. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
did you guys want her to give you the cosigner or?
I thought he was gonna send it over to Miss Bridgewater.
I'm
I
put
guess
it
if
in
you
the-
have it, I put it in the chat.
I'm going to put it in the chat right now.
Okay.
All right, so I got first arrest. He might need to try to get Whitaker off of that history because he's gonna have an alias.
Mm-hmm. On that Patterson guy.
Yeah, hold on for a minute. Making noise.
We can go to position number 10 or Mr. Howard.
Could we
Oh,
go
this
back
is
to
Miss Patterson back, Whitaker? I mean, has he been using it as an alias and she hasn't known about it?
Well, no, it's probably because of, like they said, that's what's on the warrant. So that's why he got booked in based on the warrant. So I guess when the officer swore it out, they put her name instead of his last name.
So again, Your Honor, the state's requesting a signature bond through pretrial because it's his first arrest. But at this time, we're also requesting no contact with Miss Patterson or the kids. Stay away from his residence for now. We're also asking for anger awareness, preferably FFIB, but if not FFIB, then anger awareness. We're asking for an alcohol and drug evaluation based on the statements of the victim and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
And Miss Patterson,
Yes, Your Honor.
did you, I don't know that I asked you the 2 questions. I didn't mark it down for some reason. I think we got caught up in the name issue. Do you want to have any further contact with Mr. Patterson?
Not at this moment until he can be evaluated. I honestly would like him to be able to get some help for the mental issues he's having. That's my biggest concern. I feel like if he had not been drinking that night, none of this would have happened. And I think right now my husband truly needs help because he's always been a very good man that I've been very proud to be married to. And I know that that's what he needs. He needs help. The accident hit his brain very badly, and the neurologist told me that he would have issues with aggression, anger until it healed, and that's only been, it was last April. And they told me that, like it did quite a number on him.
Okay. All right.
And
How old are your kids?
16, 14, 7, and 5. I do fear that he might hurt himself, truly.
All right. Who's representing Mr. Patterson?
I do.
Okay. You've interviewed him. You have any thoughts about that?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't think he gave a false name or anything. I think it was just a mistake on the warrant. Because the police report starts off saying, I made contact with Justin Patterson, the police officer saying, while y'all were doing another case, I muted and called his mother, and she confirmed that he had a concussion last year, this past year, and that he's going to live at home with her and they're going to get him help. Between the mother and his sister. I think she mentioned, I think it was a sibling. But the mother said, we're going to get him help. He's going to live here. And so she confirmed what Mrs. Patterson said. So, don't have much to add to that. A signature bond with appropriate conditions.
Okay. I'll give him a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, and I will order him to have no further contact with Mrs. Amber Patterson and their children. I'm going to order that he stay away from the marital residence or the incident location. And I'll order him to stay away from her job. He's got to be 200 yards away from her, which is 2 football fields, have no contact by third parties or phone calls or anything. I will ask him to cooperate with treatment, doctor's visits, and any prescribed medication. And no drugs, unprescribed medication, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And let's hope he can get the help and it'll turn things around.
Your Honor, would you consider a BHET at this point?
I guess if it'll do good, but I mean, he'll probably maybe be out before he gets it. I don't know. Will he be able to get a quick BHET, PDs?
Oh, I don't know about before he gets out, Your Honor. Oftentimes BHET can be accomplished while out.
Oh, okay. So let's order the BHET then. That's fine.
What level?
The only other thing I had, he's same job 20 years, or the same employer 20 years. May have had different assignments during those years, but there's a lot of stability there, and that concussion sounds very unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
What level
Yeah.
you are?
Level 1. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Patterson. You can sign it. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. What number is this?
This is position number 10, Mr. Howard. Can y'all?
10, let's see. All right, 24 CR 006566A, Tyrone Howard, charged with 1 count of theft by taking, pretrial.
30 plus, wanted out of Cobb County. 2023 suspended license, making false statement pertaining to motor vehicle insurance. 2017 unlawful possession of a weapon by a felon conviction. 2015 battery theft conviction. 2013 reckless conduct conviction. Went to felony earlier, got a 31,000 good bond. That's it.
State.
Sorry, I was on mute. This incident occurred May 24th, 2024 at 7355 Highland Bluff in Sandy Springs. The defendant is accused of stealing Amazon packages from the townhome of Caroline Willard. Those Amazon packages valued at $324. The victim's Ring camera did capture the theft, where the defendant is seen exiting his vehicle and then going to the victim's stoop to retrieve the Amazon packages. The state's recommendation, given his criminal history, is a $1,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Carolyn Woolard, stay away from the incident location, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And I would ask the court to sound for Miss Willard.
All right, Miss Willard. All right, go ahead. Which PD?
That's my case, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client is 36 years old. He's just about just starting a catering job. He would be self-employed. We have no, obviously, objection to any kind of stay away or no further contact. We would be seeking a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate.
No, not a signature bond with 30 plus. And he's wanted out of Cobb, but 1,000 surety. No further contact with the victim, Caroline Willard. Stay away from that incident location. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
We can go to position number 12, Mr. McDaniel. Mr. McDaniel. Or absent. Who's that?
Did you hear my real name?
Did you guys hear what position it was?
I'm sorry.
It's not me.
Oh, I thought somebody was talking to me. 24 CR 00657OG David McDaniel, charged at 1 count of criminal trespass. Retrial.
Third arrest, 2020 probation, 2019 driving without a valid license conviction. That's it.
Your Honor, this incident took place September 14th. The defendant was found sleeping in a vacant apartment at the Fulton Point Apartments. The state's recommendation is a SOB jail, stay away, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. Thank you.
Okay.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. And so I'll order $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the what apartment?
Fulton Point Apartments. Incident
The whole
location is,
complex.
yeah, 4142 Oak Tree Court in East Point.
All right, stay away from those apartments. Don't do that. If you need a social worker visit from the PD's office to help you with housing, you can do that. So you need that? Okay. Can you all have the social worker try to get with them to see if they can?
I didn't see him. He shook his head to the social worker.
Yes,
Okay.
he said
Yeah,
yes.
we'll try. Yeah, he may be out before they get there, but sure.
Okay. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. All right. Thank you.
This is position number 19, Your Honor.
Okay.
Hmm.
24 CR 0065755C. Huwamein Watts, charging 1 count of battery, family violence. Pretrial.
Fifth arrest, 2019 probation, 2016 trespass conviction, 2016 criminal damage to property, battery, first offender.
Okay.
That's all.
Your Honor, this incident took place September 17th. Officers were dispatched to 805 Beryl Street Southwest regarding a fight. The victim in this case lives with the defendant. Her name's Micheline Bennett. She states that she was in a verbal dispute with her boyfriend's mother, in which she told police that the mother was being very hostile toward her. And during that argument, her boyfriend's brother, who's the defendant, intervened and punched her in the face, causing a deep laceration to her bottom lip. The officers also spoke to the defendant, who told the police that he was defending his mother. However, the officer determined that he was the primary aggressor. All these parties live at this location. We've been in touch with Miss Bennett today. She states that the defendant is her boyfriend's brother. They reside at the incident location. She has had problems with the defendant and the family in the past, but this is the first time that someone's been arrested. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She states that she will be moving out of the incident location over the weekend. However, she would like She would like no contact. And then as far as a stay away is concerned, she would like a stay away until at least she's had time to completely move out of the residence. So at this point, Your Honor, the state's requesting a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact, and a stay away, anger management courses, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond. And if Your Honor can sound for Ms. Bennett, thank you.
Ms. Bennett? All right, and your recommendation was a surety bond?
Yes, Your Honor, this is based on his prior conviction for battery.
Okay. All right, PD Cook and McLean?
It's mine, Your Honor. Your Honor,
Okay.
he works at Advanced Drums Company. He is stable at his employment. He can certainly stay away from his own home for a half a week or a week while she moves out. He can find a place to be. The no contact is appropriate, and he'd ask the court to consider a signature bond.
Mm-hmm. Due to his history, I will order $2,000 surety bond. And with that surety bond, is to have no further contact with the victim, and stay away from the incident location, for a couple of weeks or so till the parties have been able to move out. He can, go back with the police escort. If they sweep the property and determine all her belongings are gone, he can stay. If not, cannot stay. So you must go back with the police escort so they can determine that the victim has moved. And he shouldn't start that until when?
She said she's moving out this weekend, so Monday.
Okay. All right, so Monday is the 23rd. So anytime after the 23rd of September, he can take a police escort with him. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Is that it?
That's it.
What's
Okay.
the bond again?
2,000 surety.
Seat back over there.
Next.
A few announcements. Position number 8, bond was paid, that's Ms. Harris. In position 14, I believe yesterday he was reset because of medical reasons.
So tell me again, you started out, you said something about number 8. Didn't hear you good.
Bond was paid.
Release.
8 is released. Okay, for
Correct.
some reason I can't hear it good.
It's
8 is released and 14 reset.
14.
A bond was set and it was reset in order to see if we can make any further progress. He has communication problems, both with speech. He does not have sign language. He does not have TY. We don't get read. We're having a
You're
great deal.
going in and out, Mr. McLean. I'm hearing every other word. I heard something about TDY.
Your Honor, this was reset from yesterday. It's essentially what Mr. McLean described yesterday as a Helen Keller type of situation. He does not communicate verbally, in writing. He does not sign. He's hard of hearing. So they're having an issue getting a hold of him. However, he does have a criminal history, and he has, this isn't his first rodeo. So he's had some ability to communicate at some point.
He's got the
Right. So there's a concern with this continually being reset, but I believe where we left it at yesterday was this was going to be reset to today to see if Mr. McLean could make any further progress. But at this point, he already has a bond. So as far as first appearance is concerned, he needs to be reset to SAP. Right?
All right. So what is his bond now?
His bond, I
anybody-
believe, let me look.
$3,000 surety.
Yeah, 3,000.
Okay, surety. Okay.
I
So,
agree. And like,
if
I
you
like
want to do that, Miss Bridgewater, I mean, we can
Is
just,
it gonna be 1,000 on each charge? There are 3
it's only
charges.
2 charges,
No.
1,500.
Is the theft by taking in a simple battery is
We're on position 14.
Nah, they put them back to back, Judge. It's 3. It's
It's
theft by
3.
taking, yeah, and simple battery, and the obstruction at the top.
Oh, let's see. No? Oh, I don't know what you all are looking at, but okay.
What do
So
you
there's
see?
3
The way it's
charges.
on the calendar, it has the theft by taking in a simple battery right there together, as opposed
The
to
same line,
position-
Your Honor, separated by semicolons for position 14.
Oh, I see that little semicolon. I'm not reading. Okay. Sorry, because I'm like, geez, why is everybody seeing something I don't see? Okay, I got you. There are 3. Thank you. 1,000 on each.
Okay.
Right, we've also considered the fact that he has a Cobb hold, and we're going to try to help out on that. Thank you.
Okay.
So that's
All
a
right,
surety
thank you.
gun?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh. Out. And then what was the other one?
That's it, I
Oh, we're
think.
done. And we're it. That's it.
What happened with Gay?
That's my
Felony.
question. I'm sorry, what, Deed?
No, he went to felony. It's an
Oh, I'm
entering
sorry.
auto.
Oh.
Yeah, they accepted that.
Okay.
What
And
about
also
Murray?
Mr. Cody is also going to felony as a recidivist.
Did I miss something on a Duncuria Curtis? I might have. I've been back and forth on the phone to latecomers.
I ain't have no Curtis.
I didn't have a Curtis on my list. Ms. McCockey, did you? Let's see.
I do not see a Curtis. What is that first name?
Duncuria, Donkeria.
What was the charge?
Let's see. I think it was giving false information. You know what? Sorry. Long week. I think I put a 9-9 in with a 9-19. So no, that
Okay.
one's been done. Sorry, folks.
Would you all like to go over the calendar?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
That would be lovely.
Best answer. Okay. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be October the 3rd. Position number 1 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,500 good bond. Position 2 is going to the SAP calendar with a total 13,000 cash bond. 3, SAP calendar with a $6,000 total cash bond. And position 4, SAP calendar with another $6,000 cash bond. 5, SAP calendar with a total $2,500 good bond. 6 is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through pretrial with a cosigner. 7 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. 8 is being reset further notice as the defendant has been released. 9 is reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 10, SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 11, SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 12, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 13, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 14 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. 15, SAP calendar with a total $1,500 cash bond. 16, reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 17, reset further notice with a total $1,500 SOB through the jail. 18, SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. 19, SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. 20, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 21, SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. And to the add-on calendar, position number 1 is reset further notice with a $500 SOB through the jail. And the second position, I have it as SAP calendar with the $1,000 good bond. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
And Ms. Holly, on the add-on number 2, she already made a bond on those cases, so she will be getting out, so that can be reset further notice.
Okay, I put it with that, but for the sake of
I got you.
order.
But it's already, she already posted the bond.
He's already bonded out.
Mhm.
Okay.
So we really don't need to do one to confuse them.
No,
and,
she could do, no, she could do it. It has the correct amount on it. I'm just saying that for the reset part, it can go further notice, but you can put it on your regular counter because they'll be out anyway. You can do what you do. Do what you do.
Gotcha.
You got you.
Are there any others? Mr. McLean, you're looking like you want to tell me something.
We're working on that. We're
As
working on
your attorney, I advise you to not speak.
I like that. Ah.
we're working on that, Bruce.
Okay.
All right, if that's it,
Okay.
take care, everyone.
All right, bye.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.